How's it going, guys? Merry Christmas. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a trance bass from scratch. I've been making this track, which I'm going to show in a second. I'm going to show you how to make the bass from it. This is what it sounds like. This track isn't actually out yet. I might not even finish it. It's got a banging bass, so I'll show you how it's made. Great, so the bass is made in Serum, and it sounds like this on its own. Great, so let's have a look at the MIDI. The bass is hitting on every offbeat. The kick would obviously fall here. So if we hear it with the kick, but instead of hitting on the same as the kick, we put it on the offbeat. It basically makes it bouncy, and it also means that there's constant bass. So obviously if the kick's hitting on that original pattern here, then that just means that, yeah, look, it's just constant bass. So guys, you're going kick, bass, kick, bass, kick, bass, kick, bass, kick, bass, like on and on. So yeah, it's just constant bass, and it makes it really bouncy. But yeah, if we have a look at the progression itself, we're in G sharp, up to C, down to A sharp, and then finishing on the G sharp again, and then looping back around obviously to the G sharp. So yeah, really simple progression. Great, now let's have a look how the bass sound was made. So it's actually made in Serum and is a preset for my Eurotrance Volume 1 pack. You can get that from the link in the description. The pack's got over 65 of the sickest presets. I went over a lot of them in the last video. It's basically got tons of sick leads and loads of different basses. Obviously, if you didn't want this bass, let's listen to some of the others. I'll just flick through them. Like, they all work. So this is really cool. Anyway, let's show you how I made the original one from scratch. Great, so let's initiate the preset. We then want to go to analog, basic shapes, and find the saw wave. This is the exact opposite of this saw wave. This is like a reverse saw wave. So if we look at the saw wave here, if we look at the angle, so they're going down like that, like the teeth, it's the same angle as this. So this is the same as this, whereas this is that, but in reverse. So, I mean, you could use either. Let's just go for the normal one. And then in the sub, let's go for a sine wave. Pitch them both down by 1 octave. Serum is a subtractive synthesizer. So this is what it sounds like now. Really harsh and horrible because we're covering like the whole frequency spectrum. Now what we're going to use is filter to take some of those frequencies away. Just to give an example of this, I'm just going to select an MG Low 24. So you look, that's taking out all the top end and letting it back in. We're now going to use this envelope 1, which is an amplitude envelope, but also works as just a normal envelope, to basically control this and make it into a pluck. So I've grabbed this little icon here and I've dragged it over onto our cutoff. We then drag that down to somewhere about 19, 20, around that region. We then hover over this blue headphone looking symbol, and we can use that to control how much this is coming up. So if we have it all the way up, it's going to let all of those like harsh high-end frequencies in, but if we have it down low, it's still going to be quite muted. So yeah, let's put it to about, I don't know, 61. We can obviously adjust this later. We can put the fat up a little bit, the drive, and probably leave the res the same. If not, we'll put it up just a little bit. We're then going to adjust this envelope filter. So if we add a bit of release, see, that's kind of nice and thick. Obviously, the longer this is and the longer the decay, longer amount of time that this cutoff is going to be rising for. But say if we bring it down, it's going to be much shorter. So this is happening much quicker, which causes that sort of really quick plucky effect, but way too plucky. It's happening sort of too quick for our ears to listen to it properly. So we want to find a nice sort of middle ground. So if we go for something like this, it's also good to listen to the reference track, like the drums. can also bring this, so if you grab this, you can also adjust the shape of that. Of course, it's a taste thing, but I'm going to leave it around there. Obviously, I think mine is slightly different to that, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, now we've got the basic sound. I mean, we're pretty much there. We can just add the effects. So if we go this hyper dimension, we bring this hyper down. We're going to focus on the dimension part. If we bring up the mix, gonna make it really wide, but it's sort of too wide. It will cause sort of phasing issues. So let's bring the size right the way down. And to adjust it in. The most you want to go is probably about 19. So it makes it a little bit wider. It's quite subtle, but yeah, you can definitely hear it, especially if I bring it up more. Yeah, about 19 is a good mark. It's not too much, but it's definitely there. So let's now add a compressor. Let's bring that gain up. Bring the release back, and also bring the ratio down a little bit. About that sounds good. I'm just going to adjust the attack, bring it down a little bit more so it's happening a bit quicker, and lessen that release. Or sorry, increase the release. There you go. Now let's add a reverb. Initially the reverb is going to be on Hall setting. You want to select it as plate. We can sort of leave the size there, maybe adjust it later. Let's add the width all the way up, bring up some of that low cut, get rid of some of the high cut. So as you can hear, it's making it much wider. Obviously, you can have it less. It's good to add it on a macro. And you can obviously bring it up and adjust it to taste. Reverb. Probably around there's good. We could also add a filter, or we could add an EQ instead. Put it on like low pass mode, and add it onto a macro. And it's just easy to adjust sort of how much high end you want to let in. So obviously that's sort of more muted bass. And then that's letting in more high end. So yeah, that's our bass, guys. Obviously, if you wanted to obviously go back to envelope 1, you could add in more high end. That'd be my sort of #1 recommendation. If you really wanted to punch through the mix, let in more high end. But yeah, you can definitely overdo it. It can sound a bit digital and sort of like tacky. But that's probably the max I'd go. Great, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. I will see you next time. Cheers.